Hi, my name's Joel Wittenmeyer, and I'm here with Daniel Butcher. And I was just going to ask him a series of questions about his life. Daniel, tell me a little about yourself.
I'm 46 years old. I was just recently released from prison for a parole violation. My original sentence was a possession of a firearm by a serious violent felon. And I got out and was doing good for a while. And then some old demons came back to haunt me. And I wound up violating my parole, which landed me back in prison for about 2.5 more years. So altogether on this case, I've got about 10 years in.
Now you're here.
And now I'm here.
In a good place. So some questions that I wanted to ask you. Just some general questions. Why do only some people get addicted to drugs, in your personal preference?
It's a good question. I really don't know. I know for me, it was, I can't say inherited, but all my family were alcoholics and drug addicts, and it was more of an environment, nature versus nurture.
Okay.
I believe it was more nature for me. And again, I guess it was really both, because it was all my family drinking drugs, so I really don't know.
So do you feel like somebody that would be that was brought up in a good home, but never really got in trouble, do you think they would be more into it, or do you think anybody is capable of becoming addicted to drugs?
I would say anybody is capable, depending on the drugs. You know, some people can be functioning alcoholics, can drink every day, still go to work. Same person might try something harder like meth or cocaine and just ruins them, wrecks their lives. I was that way. I could drink, smoke weed, never had any problems. I was addicted to it, but it never caused me the problems that the other hard drugs did.
Yeah.
As far as addiction itself goes, I don't know what the cravings, I don't know.
Do you feel like all drugs are addictive? And what do you think makes them addictive?
Yeah, I would say all drugs are addictive. I don't know what makes them so addictive. I wish I did.
Right, and then we would try to stay away from them.
We wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, we would use them until we were like right on the line. Do you think you can become addicted if you do it just once in a while? Do you think it becomes an addiction if you do it every so often?
Yes, especially even more so because you're once every so often, you're going to probably associate that with good times. You're going to probably do it at parties. You're going to do it around, people that you're cool with. It ain't going to cause them any problems. So you're going to relate everything to the drug as far as doing it, the experience of doing it as fun, it's good, exciting, it's thrilling. So yes, definitely. You don't start realizing how bad it's got a hold of you until it starts to wreck you, and you start to make the poor choices and decisions, or you start to lose enough to realize that it's got you.
Do you think any age goes for that too? I mean, if you do it once in a while when you're young, a teenager, every once in a while when you're older, you said you're in your 40s, so you think it doesn't really matter the age? I mean, it can become addictive no matter what if you do it once in a while?
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with age neither, because I started whenever I was in my teens. And again, when I started doing it, it was fun, it was exciting. We were sneaking around doing it. It was just alcohol and weed. And then once that thrill ran out, I wanted something bigger, something better. I wanted to move up to the harder drugs. All my friends was doing meth and coke, so I wanted to do what they were doing. And every time we do it, we were all together, we were all partying, it was fun. So I associated that with having fun. So it became to where that anytime we were getting together to have fun, we had to have drugs or it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now you kind of hit on alcohol before, so you feel like it is a drug, or it could be an addiction, alcohol.
Oh yes.
Okay, so do you think it's more dangerous or the same as drugs? How do you feel on that?
Alcohol, I don't know if you ever heard the expression as far as marijuana being the gateway drug.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but for me, it was alcohol because even whenever I was trying to get off the hard drugs, I didn't think alcohol was really all that bad. I could handle alcohol, but every time I would get drunk and get inebriated, I would want to do the harder drugs, and I didn't have no self control. I wasn't thinking rationally because I was drunk. So I realize now, it took me a long time to realize now that I can't even drink, because when I drink, that's what I want to go right to do. I want to go be the hard drugs.
Yeah, I feel like that's the same for a lot of people these days, because it gets you that inebriated feeling, to where you don't have any control of your thoughts, and then it goes right to the thing that gave you fun or what you love doing. So that was the drugs. So with prescription drugs now, do you think they're safe? They're legal, and sometimes people are around friends that do them and they think it's okay. Do you think prescription drugs are addictive?
I've never really been big on prescription drugs, opiates, none of the above there. From the outside looking in at friends that I've had, we were growing up in high school, it would be pain pills, Vicodins, whatever. Then it would turn to Lortabs, and nowadays that's most of my friends that have done that are the ones that are ODing on heroin or addicted to heroin. I've always been more of a speed demon myself.
Yeah.
Pills, I know that the doctors who prescribe those pills to people are starting to be more aware of the addictive behaviors that it causes,
Yeah.
and the ramifications behind that. Again, I don't really.
So with you being a recovering addict, if you were to get hurt and go to the hospital, would you be able to control the prescription? Like if they gave you a prescription of a narcotic to help you, would you turn that down, or would you think you could handle it and use that cautiously?
As crazy as it sounds, I think I can. I broke my leg a few years back, and me not being a pill person,
Yeah.
I was taking them like 2 every 4 hours, and I would time it. I'm in pain, and it's been 3.5 hours, and I could wait because I don't like pills.
Yeah.
For me, it counteracted with the buzz that I was actually wanting.
Yeah.
The pills would slow me down, and I didn't want to slow down. I wanted to stay speeding.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess every person's got their different addictions regarding that. Like I said, pills weren't my thing.
And you said marijuana you felt like it was a gateway, correct? It can be a gateway for people.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's bad if somebody just smoked marijuana? I mean, it's a plant. I mean, it's natural, but I mean, right now with Indiana, we're kind of the state that doesn't want to legalize it. But
Yeah,
I mean, do you feel like it's bad?
That's a sticky subject. My personal opinion is no. I don't see a whole lot wrong with marijuana. I really don't, and I guess everybody's got their own opinions on that. I believe the majority of the people in the country probably share my opinion that, because if you look at the drugs nowadays, alcohol, meth, weed, coke, pills, nobody's out here gang banging over marijuana, or losing lives over marijuana. Not like we're here with other drugs. I don't think marijuana is really as harmful. I'm not saying not harmful, it's just not as harmful as what we're seeing in our neighborhoods nowadays and in the schools, what they're doing to the youth and what the other drugs are doing to our communities. Marijuana's pretty much laid back, chill drug.
Yeah, it's on the back burner since all this other stuff's coming out.
Yeah.
Now, how do you know if someone is addicted to drugs? What are some signs or symptoms or anything that you can tell if someone is addicted? How would you know?
Well, their integrity, for one, that's the first thing that you can tell, is that when a person is using drugs, they're going to break promises to you. They're not going to be as reliable, and again, it depends on the drug. With alcohol, I mean, it's pretty apparent when someone's turned to alcoholism.
Yeah.
They're always smashed. 2 in the afternoon, they're at the liquor store. It's pretty telltale sign. Again, whenever I was, when I started off using hard drugs, I tried to just do it whenever we were partying, whenever we was on the weekends, you know, this and that. And it was a social thing. For me, when someone's probably slipped on deep end, it's when they're doing it by themselves. Even drinking.
Yeah.
You know, because
Closet drinker.
yeah, when I was a kid, who wanted to drink by themselves? That was boring. Yeah. And then that's how the hard drugs were for me. Then, you know, as time went on, I didn't care who was around and who wasn't around. You know, I was going to score and do it by myself and hide. Yeah, I didn't want to be around people when I was, you know, so I'm antisocial. That would be another telltale sign. You don't see very much of them. They can't keep a job. They're always broke. You know, those are pretty good signs that they're slipping into addiction.
Yeah. Did you do methamphetamines? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so with methamphetamines, how for like families and people that are struggling with a family member that's an addiction with meth, which I feel like is a pretty big thing right nowadays with the fentanyl and everything combined. How can they tell with the symptoms that their loved one is on meth?
I think, like I said a minute ago, I think one of the most clearest evidence is going to be antisocial, because if they're using it every day, their appearance is going to change. Their attitudes are going to change. They're either going to be sporadic, they're going to be reclusive, and most of the addicts that I've known, myself included, when I started to get real spun out, I wouldn't want to be around people unless they were using too.
Yeah.
Then it was more the merrier. I didn't care, but like any of my grandmas and aunts and people who don't use drugs, I didn't want to be around them, because, you know, if you're on meth, you're not hiding that.
Yeah.
And so I would avoid birthday parties. I would avoid any kind of social family gatherings, cookouts, or whatever. I just didn't want to be around them. I wanted to be by myself, me and my drugs, my drug buddies.
They want your family to see it, because it wasn't more of like, oh, they'll notice. It'll be more of they're disappointed. They're going to be disappointed. Yeah. So there's a friend that I know. What can I do to help my friend who is addicted to drugs? What's some helpful things that I can do or say to him, or be there for him?
Man, it's another tough question, Joe. Being an addict myself who is needing that friend, that's a tough question for me, because I don't really know 100% what to say to someone. I can just relate to them, make them not feel like they're dealing with it by themselves. Let them understand that, hey, I get it. Because a lot of times whenever we're addicts, man, we feel like nobody gets us. Nobody understands what it's like, or they feel embarrassed or ashamed, humiliation. Sometimes you just gotta love them through it.
Yeah.
So prayer, prayer would be the first step. With God, all things are possible. So I've had some friends turn to me whenever I was sober here and there throughout my life, and they would see that I had beaten it. I thought I did. They would turn to me because I had gotten high with them. So it wasn't like I was on the outside looking in. I had been on the inside and got out, so they could relate to me. So in most of your rehabilitation and recovery centers, like here, That's the difference between Kevin and Susie. They've been through it.
Yeah.
So it's easier to talk to them. It's not like talking to someone who's never lived it or witnessed it for themselves. These people are actually human beings that understand exactly what I'm saying. I don't have to, explain it or over-explain it. They get it. That, to me, that means a lot. I also, see the therapeutic value in some of the diplomas and degrees that people do have that can help out. But for me, it's not. I really can relate to people like Kevin and Susie or other addicts. So these meetings that we go to, and I've been to, the guys that share their stories, I find comfort in the pain that we share.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Trying to explain to someone else who's never done it, it's like trying to explain what Mars is like if you've never been there.
Yeah.
That's how insane our addictions are. We feel like we're on another planet, and we done left Earth a long time ago. That's how I felt. So.
All right. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for today. I want to thank you, Daniel, for coming in. It's been a pleasure. So we want to thank the audience for joining in, and we will have more videos in the future.